Alright, guys, I am back for the TO show, and coming up tonight, I am recapping what happened with the Stanley Cup Finals, the NBA Finals, and the College World Series. Oh, yeah, a little about the JUCO World Series, too, for D2. And, I'm going to give a review of the movie that just came out, The Free State of Jones. I'm going to make a 4th of July Independence Day special, so don't go anywhere because the TO show is coming up right now. That's not gonna work. Alright, guys, this is the TO show, and to start off with the Stanley Cup Finals, I want to say congrats to the Pittsburgh Penguins on winning their, I say, 4th Stanley Cup championship. First since fourth in franchise history, and first since 2009. So yeah, I was kind of disappointed because I really wanted San Jose to win it, quite frankly, because apart from the Bruins being my favorite team, Boston Bruins, I would have to choose a Western Conference team too, and that would be the San Jose Sharks. So it's kind of my favorite team too, or second go-to team or something like that. So yeah, congrats to them, and so yeah, the NBA Finals, I was really disappointed. I really thought Golden State was going to win that. I did not expect that the Cleveland Cavaliers were going to come back. I really thought they were down and out, because that hasn't happened before in NBA history. A team coming back from three games to one deficit. So yeah, that's history made right there. And congrats to the Cleveland Cavaliers on winning their first ever NBA championship, and ending a drought that the city of Cleveland hasn't won since either the Cleveland Indians winning 1948 World Series, or the Cleveland Browns winning the 1964 NFL title. I think all the titles before the Super Bowl don't really count, but that's just me. I mean, what do I know, right? Alright, so the College World Series. This I was hoping, or the team I had, or won it, with the team I really wanted to win it all along, or really was going for, was Coastal Carolina, and congrats to them for winning their first ever College World Series in program history, and probably bringing their first ever championship in school history to that school's athletic program. So congrats to them. I didn't really expect them to go that far, especially in the regionals. And one congrats to the Jones County Miss Junior College in Mississippi baseball program for winning the JUCO D2 World Series. I think first in program history. So yeah, that's pretty neat. And which comes to the next segment of the show, the review of the movie that I saw actually last night with my family, called The Free State of Jones, which has Matthew McConaughey in it. And it talks about the same county that Jones County Junior College, same team I was just talking about minutes ago, about them winning the World Series, or it's about that same county in Mississippi back in the Civil War, as in the American Civil War, not Captain America, Civil War or something. Yeah, just stay out of it, Marvel fans, Marvel superhero fans. We are not talking about that. We're talking about the actual American Civil War. So yeah, between North and South, blue and gray. Alright, so you could just get that out of your head right now. Alright, so anyway, Matthew McConaughey plays a guy about a true story about a guy named Newt Knight in Jones County, Mississippi, who during the Civil War decides to desert from, and with his fellow Confederates, serve from the Confederate Army and join up with these group of runaway slaves who eventually in 1863 and 1864 led an armed rebellion against Confederate states in Jones County and other surrounding counties in the South Mississippi area, or southeastern Mississippi area. And it talks about, even goes back to, like, he still kept fighting for African American rights and their right to vote and, like, right to and he even married an African American woman and had a child with them. And they talk about how, like, oh, that's, like, the Southern people thought that was just not great, but it talked about how basically that war was just a rich man's war, poor man's fight, basically, and that's where that term came from. Because examples like in the South, if you had 20 slaves, then you can buy yourself out way out of fighting. And since Newt Knight didn't have any slaves, he couldn't buy his way out of a fight. So that's why he deserted. And it was the same up in the North, too. That if you're a rich guy, you can buy yourself out way out of a fight, and you just make a substitute go for you. And that was mostly just Irish immigrants and just German immigrants who had to do that, the whole substitute thing. And that's why the New York draft riots in 1863 happened. Because they were mostly going after the rich people because they felt like it was just a rich man's war, poor man's fight, basically. And that's where that term came from the Civil War. So, yeah. Well, anyway, since tomorrow will be Independence Day, I decided to read you a poem from, like, 1960s about this kid who dreams about the American Revolution and being a part of it. And it's kind of a song, but I'm gonna play it off of Spotify. It's done, or the person who does the song is an Irish songwriter, but, like, he does also American songs too. Not just Irish songs too, but he also does American songs. Like songs from the American Revolution and the Civil War. So, let me get the poem. We don't want that. Let's see. And the poem's called A Dream of Liberty. Get out. Go. Alright. Alright, here it is. A Dream of Liberty. It's a Sean McCarthy poem, the guy who wrote the poem. So, here you go.
One night as the wind whispered airy tales, and the stars danced to and fro, I dreamt of the land where my forefathers trod in those times of long ago. In Boston Harbor I saw brave men, and I watched with youthful pride when they scattered the tea in a tax-laden sea to a dark and an angry tide. I wondered then, as I watched these men who flouted King George's might, would redcoats' hordes with their glittering swords wreak vengeance in the night. Then a voice rang out in the starry air, "Stand fast, young man, be brave. Far better to die neath an open sky than to live like a cowering slave." In the early dawn on that April morn I stood on a mountain tall, and I felt the shock of a musket shot that started first freedom's call. My spirit soared, and its thunder roared, and I prayed to the blazing sky to bless the hand of that gallant band who carried our banner high. In that shifting scene of my wandering dream, I rode fast to Bennington town. General Stark and his Green Mountain boys were camped on the dewy ground. I gazed for a while, and I saw his sad smile. Then he softly said to me, "Their young blood will stain this Vermont plain before our land is free." I remember that smile as I rode each mile. In my heart a dreadful chill, the blood and the sweat and the smell of death rising high over Bunker Hill. The men and the boys with their sightless eyes, who lay dead before their time when they broke the chain of King George's reign in a place they called Brandywine. Then clear upon the cold night air, I heard a suffering cry. A ragged band of hungry men were slowly shuffling by. Across the valley grim and bare, I heard the bugle blow and the bloody beat of the torn feet staining the virgin snow. In that shivering scene of my nightmare dream, a tall man spoke to me. He looked grey and old in the crippling cold, but his eyes were bright and clear. He said, "Listen well, then you must tell of the deeds these men have done, and future days will sing their praise from dawn till the setting sun. Tell them of Saratoga, where our patriots fought and died, of Valley Forge and of Paul Revere, who made that midnight ride, of Cowpens and King's Mountain. Don't let them soon forget Patrick Henry's immortal words, 'Give me liberty or death.' Remember the swamp fox Marion, who led a wily band, of Allen Green and Sumter, who made a noble stand. Remember too the mothers true, who cried their tears alone. Their names will be told with the brave and the bold, where'er our flag is flown." He left me then, but I saw him again, standing high near Yorktown Bay. I saw Cornwallis surrender his sword on that bleak October day. Then the tall man turned and he said to me, "Young man, our fight has just begun." And like a flashing scene, I awoke from my dream, and I cried in my silent room. On my way to school, I felt like a fool, as my childish tears did flow. The things I had seen, they were all in a dream. You see, they'd happened long ago. Then I cast my eye to a building high, where our flag was floating free, and I smiled to the sun for the men who had won a nation, for you and for me.
Alright guys, thanks for watching, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Have a safe and happy 4th of July weekend, and happy 4th of July tomorrow. If anybody didn't catch what the poem was, I'll post the actual poem with a picture on Facebook tomorrow. So yeah, so keep on watching, keep safe, and happy trails.